Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loga Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhatarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam अस्मताचार्य पर्यंता वंदे गुरु परंपराम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्ति भेद विभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारो अंधकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अंधकार निरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यंकरवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्याय नचिकेतसे नमः। We will start to study the instructions what Yama has given to Nachiketas. We are in the 21st verse of Kaṭha Upaniṣad, second section. There are three sections for the first chapter. In that, we are in the second section and the 21st shloka. I am not going to the summary because summary will take a lot of time. So we will go directly to the teachings continued from the last class. So I will read that shloka and we will see the meaning of that teaching. Asino duram vrachati Shayano yati sarvataha Kastam matamatam devam matanyaha Nyatumarhati. Once more we will read. Asino duram vrachati Shayano yati sarvataha Kastvam matamatam devam Madanyo jnatumarhati. We were already seeing this shloka in the last class. I will give the brief meaning again, what we have seen in the last class. Asinaha duram vrajati. Staying at one place, it travels so far, it travels everywhere. Two opposite words are taking place in one locus. Atman, the indwelling self, the soul, the Brahman, the consciousness, all are synonymous for this one thing which is all pervading in this universe. This consciousness staying in one place and travels everywhere. We already saw through some examples in the last class. Like the ocean, when it is all pervasive, the water being all pervasive in and through the ocean. But from the standpoint of a wave, it travels from one place to another place. Similarly, the conditions the names and forms, the conditional limiting adjuncts, we look this consciousness through a body and we say this Atman is traveling. Remember the logic. For an all-pervading consciousness, there is no place left out for pervading. What is the point of traveling? There is no travel at all. When everywhere it is filled, there is no point of traveling. But from the standpoint of a name and form, for example, a human being will travel from Chennai to Delhi. That consciousness which is pervading in that body, we can say from the standpoint of the body, that consciousness is traveling from one place to another place. From the standpoint of the name and form, there is traveling. But from the ultimate standpoint, there is no traveling because it is all pervasive. There is no place left out. Similarly, we already saw this in the last class. Just I am brushing up to go to the new verse. Lord Yama says, Shayanaha Yati Sarvataha. That also we saw in the last class. The first sentence says that being stationary, it goes everywhere. Now the second statement says that Shayano Yati Sarvataha. Laying down in one place and it goes everywhere. Yati Sarvataha. When a body is sleeping, a human being goes through three states. Jagradam, Swapnam, Sushupti. Jagradavastha, awaken, state of awakening. All senses are in full measure in the Jagradavastha, awakening state. Dream state, the external senses are no more dealing with the external world. Our ears, eyes, nose, etc., just they have already shut down. Just our mind is working in the dream state. The data which are collected from the external world are being stocked, stored in a place called memory, Chittam, which is a part of mind, which is also being a role of the mind to play. So Chittam and Manaha are not so much different. But the data which we have collected from the external world are being stocked and kept in the Chittam. And this Chittam, mind, everything will work together in the dream state, and the dream will come into true as though. Even though the external senses, the external organs are shut down, we are just laying down. Our subtle body, Sukshma Shariram, the manas, the mind, etc., are working, and we see dream state. And in Sushupti Avastha, neither the external organs nor the internal organs are working. Both are shut down. And we are laying down completely without knowing anything, unaware of anything happening around me, unaware of my body. I am just laying down and sleeping, deep sleep state. Sushupti avastha in Sanskrit. When we are in the deep sleep state, we can say the residing consciousness, which is the indwelling self, is Shayanaha, sleeping, who is just sleeping. From the standpoint of body, the indwelling self, which is residing in the body, we can say that self is sleeping. But from the standpoint of ultimate truth, the all-pervasive consciousness is traveling all around due to its all-pervasiveness, everywhere. When we look at the conditional mind, when we look at the conditional body, when we look at each and every name and form, when it is laying down, we say indwelling self is laying down also. At the same time, when it is from the ultimate reality, when we look at that, it is also traveling. It is everywhere. So, both opposite words are fit from different standpoints. From the duality, means Dvaita Prapancham, this world is completely with different types of names and forms, different types of animals, different types of other species, different types of aqua species, different types of birds, different types of stars, different types of solar systems. Each and everything apart from me, separate from me, I perceive this world. Other than me, lot of things are existing. When I apply that existence other than me is called duality, Dvaita Prapancham. Dvaita means something other than me is also existing. Something other than me means other than my body, also existing. Dvaita Prapancham. From the standpoint of this external world existence, each and everything will go through different states. Something will be stationary, something will be not moving, something will be laying down, something like rock, stone, etc., never move at all. All these things can be asinaha, just without moving to anywhere. From the standpoint of its body, its name and form. But from the ultimate reality, when we look at that, Duram Vrachati, the consciousness which is all pervasive inside the stone, inside a bird, inside each and every living being, each and every insentient things, this consciousness is all pervasive. Everywhere. Everywhere. So, staying at one place in the form of a stone or a bird, it travels everywhere. Laying down in one place in the form of consciousness, it travels everywhere. This is the clean-cut understanding about the Atman. That consciousness which is pervading everywhere, which is our indwelling self, which is also called the inner soul, that self which is also called Brahman is all pervading. When we say it's all pervading, means it travels everywhere. When we come to the standpoint of a name and form, that means body, it stay at one place, it lie at one place, So, these words which are very much ironic stay together, but with different standpoints. From the standpoint of ultimate reality, it is all pervasive. From the standpoint of apparent reality, which is Dvaita Prapancham, duality, it stay one place, it stay at one place, it lay down at one place. Everything happens for that body can be attributed to that indwelling self. That is the meaning of these two sentences. And Lord Yama says that to Nachiketas, Matanyaha, other than me, Mat Anyaha. Other than me, Kaha, who? Tam means that effulgent one. Tam Devam. Kaha, Kastvam, Kastam means should be separated. And Kaha, Tam Devam, who other than me can recognize that effulgent, that self-evident Atman, which is joyful and joyless. What is meant by joyful and joyless? Mata amatam. Most of the people think that those who are in the spiritual pursuit are unlucky. Why? They don't enjoy these material pleasures and they don't have any enjoyment in the spiritual pursuit. They do some japa, they study some books, and they will be always in the pursuit of moral living, dharmic way of conducting the life. And most of the materialists, the people who live an ordinary life, will be wondering, why in this younger age a person enter into this spiritual pursuit? Or why this woman who is capable of doing lot of things in the world, he has abundance of money, he has a good shariram, he has a good setup regarding food and shelter and etc., etc. Then why she should go to a spiritual pursuit? People used to think normally, They think that going to spiritual pursuit means they are losing their enjoyments in this world. They can't enjoy anything materially when they go to the spiritual pursuit. But the reality is, the source of happiness in this world is the Brahman. The central theme of each and every spiritual life. The more you come to know the reality that Brahman is the source of the happiness, we never lack any material happiness in this world. Each and every material happiness is a speck of sand when we compare to the ultimate happiness. A speck, a little bit of happiness, a drop of happiness. When we compare to the happiness Anantamayam, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam or Anantam. This is the intrinsic nature or features of this Brahman. I am the source of ultimate happiness. But I didn't know that all my life I am having different types of issues and problems. This is the normal doubt of a listener when listen first time this sentence. When I say I am the source of happiness, a doubt may arise in a listener, and it's normal. But my life is completely filled with unhappiness and strain, pressure, lot of tragedies. How can you say that I am the source of happiness? There we need to understand certain things. Any name and form in this world is filled with unhappiness. We just impose the happiness on that name and form. Whether it is child, whether it is our husband, whether it is our wife, whether it is a television, whether it is a newly brought mobile, whatever it may be, it is called a name and form in Vedanta, Nama Rupam. Any name and form is filled with unhappiness. We just superimpose the happiness, or the happiness which is flowing from ourselves is reflected through that name and form. And we think that this reflection is true. The happiness is given by the mobile phone, or happiness is given by my wife. Happiness is given by my boyfriend. Happiness is given by this house. Without this, I will not be complete. This is a main mistake which we go through that. We commit in our life. The major mistake which we commit in our life. Any name and form is impermanent, is filled with unhappiness, is filled with a lot of insecurity, and also it is, we cannot expect all the time happiness. It is unpredictable. Anything can happen at any time for any name and form. So there is no guarantee for permanent happiness in any name and form. That is why our ancestors given up all the name and form in search of reality. If the names and forms are really the source of happiness, they may be acquiring all kinds of names and forms from this universe, and they will also suggest us to acquire maximum names and forms in your life in order to get happiness. But ironically, they didn't collect anything. They just give up all these things, material things, and they just walked away. Tyage naike amrutatva manashu. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amrutatva manashu. Very beautiful Vedantic sentence. They, by giving up everything, they reach the immortality, amrutatva. In search of immortality, they given up every name and form. What are the ultimate pleasures like sex, baby, the different places in this universe like heaven, etc., which are the source of material pleasures, na karmana, not by doing any activities. They just given up this external world and they went in search of immortality. Immortality and the karma are in the different direction. If you are involved in different karmas, you are not behind immortality. If you are behind the amritatvam, the immortality, you may give up karmas. It's not you may give up, definitely you will give up karmas. Then we are going to see more and more about these things. May you understand that name and form are not the source of happiness. Any name and form in this world can make you more uncomfortable, can give you more unhappiness, can give you a lot of uncertainty in your life. There is no guarantee for any name and form that it will make you continue happiness. So, amadam. Amadam means unhappiness. From the standpoint of dualistic world, every name and form are a source of unhappiness. And Lord Krishna says in the 5th chapter, Ehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkhayonaya evate. I think it is 17th shloka in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Any happiness which we get by the contact of senses and objects are completely end up with unhappiness, are subject to unhappiness, which will end up in unhappiness. We think that this is the source of happiness. This is a mistake. This is an error. Any name and form, when you acquire in search of happiness, it will give you unhappiness in the course of time because it is loaded with unhappiness. That is called amatam. And matam, the ultimate happiness, anantam. That is what Lord Yama says. Who other than me can know the happiness and unhappiness in this world? Means knowing the Atman, one will become Ananta Rupaha. Knowing that name and forms are the source of happiness, one will become Dukkha Rupi, subject of all kinds of sorrows. Any name and form, whatever it may be, this is the final statement regarding the names and forms. It can cause a lot of sorrows. So, here, Lord Yama says that who else other than me can know that this Lord, who is self-effulgent, tam devam, that effulgent one, which is indeed the joyful, and the superimposed names and forms are a source of unhappiness. Whoever commit for the material world will end up in unhappiness. Whoever commit for the source of reality, in order to know the reality, whoever commit for the spiritual seeking, they will end up in unhappiness. And whoever commit in search of name and form for the source of happiness will end up in unhappiness. This is the simple meaning of this slogan according to the commentary of Shankara Bhagavad Pada. Now we will go to the next verse, which is also an super extraordinary instruction towards Nachiketas by the Lord Death. We will read first. Ashariram sharireshu anavasteshu avastitam mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro na shochati. Once more I will read. Ashariram sharireshu anavasteshu avastitam mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro na shochati. First we will see the word meaning. Ashariram sharireshu. In different bodies, sharireshu. In different bodies, there is one thing which is devoid of any kind of body. Ashariram. One who is endowed without a body. One who is endowed without a body. Ashariram. I already mentioned you, whenever we want to make an opposite word, this A is used in Sanskrit to make the word opposite. Shariram, body. Ashariram, without a body. So, an entity without a body is existing in each and every bodies. Each and every body. Whatever body we see in this world, the name and form is also called body. For the sake of understanding, Lord Yama present in another way. In the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the first verse, Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramitya Vidhiyate Kshetrajnam Chapi Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. I am the indweller in each and every body. Kshetra means, here we can convert for the sake of understanding, body. Actually, Kshetra means a field. For the sake of understanding, connected with this shloka, in each and every body, whatever I see, there is a person who is devoid of any body, is dwelling. Remember, there is a logic. Something which is devoid of form or formless, which is formless, can only become into different types of form. The famous example, we can make the gold into a ring. We can make the gold into a necklace. We can make the gold into a nose ring. We can make the gold into an earring. We can make the gold in the form of a bangle. Anything in the desired form, we can convert to the gold. May you understand, gold being formless, we can make it into any form. The same logic, please, you apply here also. Something which is formless can appear in the different forms, like water also. Water is devoid of form. It is formless. It can be in the form of a cloud. It can be in the form of a dewdrop. It can be in the form of a vapor. It can be in the form of ice cube. Everything is different from one another, correct? The more you make the heat in the water, it will become vapor. More you make cold the water, it will become ice. The shapes and the forms are different each other. Why? Water being formless, it can be converted to any desired form. Similarly, Atman being formless, the Brahman being formless, without any kind of body, it can appear in any type of body. Ashariram sharireshu. For the sake of understanding of Nachiketas, Lord Yama says, in each and every body, the indwelling self, which is free from any kind of shape, is residing. This one sentence will make us to respect each and every life form. That is why Indian culture is being accepted all around the world. Why? You cannot give more status for any other thing other than everything is Lord. When we say whatever we see in this world is nothing but the Creator or the Lord, that status is the ultimate status what we can give for a thing in the world. Nobody can give another status other than the Creator. We can give to a dog who served in the military a lieutenant commander. It's a status, but it's a small status than a creator. A havildar can become another person. When you work in the police, a sub-inspector can become a circle inspector. It's a small status when you work as a sub-inspector, but after 5 years of service, you can become circle inspector. After that, DYSP, SP, IG, DIG, it goes again and again according to the Indian police system. But these status are less when we compare that each and every life form is nothing but the Creator. The God itself is in the form of a dog. That status cannot be bypassed by any other vision or status in the world. This sentence or this understanding will make us to respect each and every life forms in this world. Ashariram sharireshu. Even though we perceive different bodies and different names and forms in this world, sharireshu, may you understand, a thing which is devoid of any form is residing in each and every life form. Any sentient or insentient, he is going to say in that other sentence, coming sentence. For the sake of understanding, may you understand that in each and every life form, each and everything, whatever I perceive with my eyes, with my ears, with my tongue, with my nose, with my touching, anything in this world is nothing but it is the form of a formless entity. A formless entity is appearing as though taken a form in this universe. This formless entity is also residing inside the listener. The listener has a mistaken error. The correction of the error is done by this single sentence. May you understand that you are a formless entity and you are not a limited human being. The superimposed name and form should be given up by the correction. What is the correction? You are a formless entity, which is a consciousness, which is all pervading in this universe. That consciousness is formless. The error is corrected. What is the error? The error is that I am a human being. I am a 60-year-old woman. I am a 20-year-old woman. I am a 30-year-old man. I am a teacher. I am a bank employee. I am a widow. I am not looking good with my skin and face. I am having some health issues. All these things are nothing but error. All these thoughts are nothing but erroneous notions. This is called sharireshu. In every body, what we see is superimposed form. For every superimposed body, there is something in real below that. The locus is formless, which is the consciousness where the all names and forms are residing, where the all names and forms are dependent. The independent entity which is formless is the cause for each and every name and form. This is the meaning Lord Yama want to convey for Nachiketas. Ashariram sharireshu. In each and every body, the formless entity is residing. It is one and the only one in which is all pervasive, which is the base of this universe. Ashariram sharireshu. Anavasteshu avastitam. Anavasteshu avastitam. Anavastam, impermanent. Any name and form comes into this world, and also after a period of time, it will get disappeared. This is called impermanent. My body also will come on a particular date. After a period of time, this body will be departing from this world. So each and everything in this world are subject to destruction. This is called anavastitam, which is impermanent. What are the things as we see in this world are impermanent, and the one entity which is the locus of each and every superimposed form, so-called impermanent names and forms, that one entity is permanent, not subject to any kind of alteration, modification, or any destruction, because superimposed forms will come and go, but the real entity will be staying without having any kind of destruction at any point of time. Anavasteshu avastitam. In each and every name and form which is subject to destruction, there is a thing which is not subject to destruction, is residing in each and every name and form. When the superimposed form get resolved from the awakening of the knowledge, that knowledge will be the correction of my mistake. I was taking myself as this human body. Now the traditional teachings of Vedanta comes and give the real secret of my life, that I am not this body, but I am the consciousness, which is also the locus of this entire universe, is the locus of my body also. I cannot misidentify myself. I should get the real knowledge that I am this consciousness, not this body. That understanding will make me, I am not subject to death and birth. I am immortal. Anavasteshu avastitam. Even when the bodies are coming, bodies are subject to destruction, still the base of each and every body, the locus of each and every body will be permanent at any point of time. Anavasteshu avastitam. That permanent thing which is the locus of all impermanent things, may you know, Nachiketas. This is the meaning of the first two sentences of this shloka. We will continue with the meaning, to look into the meaning in the next class. We will go to the Mrityunjaya Mahamantra. Shanti. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanibhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Choparahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayah Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma kaschat dukha bhag bhavet asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om purnamata purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamataya purnameva vashishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.